guys, today I'm going to be doing my November book haul, showing you all of the books that came into my possession in the month of November. There might be quite a few. I did hit up some free little libraries this month, or little free libraries, I always get the name reversed. Also, I hit my reading goal this month. I am allowed to purchase as many books as I want, but I do want to make note that the majority of the books I get secondhand or on sale. And it's my money, so I can do what I want. Like, let's get into it. I started my month out at Barnes & Noble and got 3 nonfiction books, as this month is Nonfiction November, so I wanted to focus on that. And these are all very popular. I've heard about on social media, and they've all done really well with like the New York Times. They might all be on that list that is the best 100 books of the century so far. First one is Know My Name by Chanel Miller, and oh my gosh, it's taken me forever to get to this book because I just have never been able to find it anywhere else. I finally got it. So if you don't know, Chanel Miller, she came out with this book. She was a part of a case where she was a Jane Doe and eventually came out with her name. The case is the Brock Turner one, where he was a swimmer at Stanford and raped her while she was unconscious, and it was just a whole big trial and everything, and he got off really easy, and this is her story. Next, we have one that I learned about surprisingly on TikTok of all places, and that is How the Word is Passed by Clint Smith. This is a reckoning with the history of slavery across America. Beginning in his hometown of New Orleans, Clint Smith leads the reader on an unforgettable tour of monuments, landmarks, those that are honest about the past and those that are not, that offer an intergenerational story of how slavery has been central in shaping our nation's collective history and ourselves. And as I always tell y'all, one of the main reasons I read is to learn and to educate myself, and books like this are very helpful with that. Last out of the Barnes & Noble stack, I did learn about this through the New York Times, and that is The Only Plane in the Sky, an oral history of 9/11 by Garrett M. Graff, and this is an oral history all about the tragic day of September 11th, 2001. And my book of the month books now. First, we have The Wild Huntress by Emily Lloyd Jones. This is a fantasy book. Me being a fantasy girly, kind of strange, but it's something that I'm wanting to get back into, and in December I will be focusing on reading fantasy. Fingers crossed that it goes well. We have about 3 perspectives here, and it seems to be a Welsh-inspired fantasy. Every 5 years, 2 kingdoms take part in a wild hunt. Joining is a bloody risk, and even the best hunters can suffer the most gruesome fates. Still, hundreds gamble their lives to participate, all vying for the hunt's life-changing prize, a magical wish granted by the other king. Here's a book that is another one that TikTok finally made me get, and that is Recursion by Blake Crouch. This is a science fiction, speculative fiction book. We have this near future society where people are having their memories taken from them, and they're trying to find out what is causing this, if there's any kind of rhythm to the memories that are being taken, and I have only heard great things about this. So this is another, fingers crossed, that I will enjoy. And we are focusing on nonfiction, and I looked at an athlete's, like his books, they posted a list, and this was on there, and basically with his list I went through and just looked at Storygraph to see if Storygraph thought I would like the book, and this is one that it did, and I've only heard good things about this book. Now, I am not really like a foodie. I cook food like every day for myself. I go out to eat. Like I do that, but I don't make trips out of going to go to different restaurants or anything like that. Like, yeah, I do have some restaurants listed in my phone. I went to a great food hall this weekend. That was my first time ever going to one. But I'm fair to say I'm not a foodie, but now I'm sounding like I am one. But the book is Kitchen Confidential: Adventures in the Culinary Underbelly by Anthony Bourdain. This is all about that and about his life in the culinary world. Another nonfiction, another memoir, and that is Dinner for Vampires: Life on a Cult TV Show, while also in an actual cult, by Bethany Joy Lenz. So she was on One Tree Hill, which was one of my favorite shows in high school. I think Haley started out as my favorite character of the show, which is the character she plays, but that was a show where I just I changed favorite characters all throughout. This is her memoir. And lastly, this is kind of like a historical fantasy, I would say. This is The Bog Wife by Kay Chronister. And when I read the synopsis, I was like, yeah, that sounds like it'll be for me. And since on social media, I've seen a lot of people enjoying this book. This says, in this atmospheric Appalachian Gothic, the Hadsley siblings of West Virginia unearth long buried secrets when the supernatural bargain entwining their fate with their ancestral land is suddenly ruptured. That definitely sounds right in my alley. And it seems like, okay, when I first got on Reddit, it was to read like alien stories, missing 411. Why does that sound like it would be one of these? Like, this sounds like it would have been a Reddit post. I don't know if that's the intention. I highly doubt it's the intention, but it sounds like that. I did make several Target trips this month. Y'all know I go there every week. And I did buy some books. First being From Here to the Great Unknown by Lisa Marie Presley with her daughter Riley Keough. This is a book Lisa Marie wanted to write a memoir because, I mean, think of her life. She lived a crazy life. She sat down and started doing tapes, like recording her voice of things that she wanted to be in the memoir, but sadly she passed away. Her daughter, Riley Keough, took over and started writing the book that her mother wanted to write. And if that does not tug at your heartstrings, I do not know what will, but this seems like it's the memoir of the year so far. There's always that one memoir that comes out before the holidays that everybody loves, and it seems like this is it this year. Here's one that I got at a little free library, and it is an ARC actually, but this is The Puzzle Box by Daniel Trusani, and I had never heard of this book before. It came out in October of 2024, and yeah, tentative price for a hardcover is $30, and I got this for free. It is like about a mysterious puzzle, and it's taking place in Japan, and they are trying to unravel this puzzle, so it seems like it's going to be a mystery. So the world's greatest puzzle master sets out to solve the most dangerous enigma of his life or die trying. Ooh, that's intriguing. My town also got its first indie bookstore. Had to hit it up, and y'all know I've been on this big historical quest of trying to learn all about history from the Neolithic time period to modern day, and the Dark Ages are something they've always just stumped me. I don't understand how the Dark Ages happened, what was happening during all of that. Something that I'm really just trying to unravel. And I saw this book and I was like, yep, that's perfect for me. And that is The Inheritance of Rome, Illuminating the Dark Ages from 400 to 1000 by Chris Wickham. Right up the alley, right up the alley. And this is the bookmark. Yeah, this is the bookmark if you guys would like to follow the store on social media or check out their website. You can buy books online there, and you're supporting a small business when you do that. So that is something awesome to do. And this just seems like hopefully I get a lot of answers from. On my way home from going there, I stopped at a little free library and picked up Tombstone, the Arp Brothers, Doc Holliday, The Vendetta Ride from Hell by Tony Clavin. This is all this, so yeah, there's a movie about this and everything. But on the afternoon of October 26, 1881, 8 men clashed in what would become known as the most famous shootout in American frontier history. 30 bullets were exchanged in 30 seconds, killing 3 men and wounding 3 others. We are going to find out all about that. My dad wanted, and I was like, ooh, I want to read that too. We're both going to read this. And then I did go back to Target, and they were having their buy 2 get 1 free sale, and I picked up Kamala Harris's memoir, The Truth We Hold, An American Journey. It's all her life story. I talked about it in the vlog, but with political figures in our country on both sides of the spectrum, I think you need to educate yourself on who they are. We did have election day this month, but you need to know what you're voting for and who you're voting for. So I do think it's just important to read books like this to have an understanding of who those people are. The other books that I got in that sale are a fiction book that I've never heard of, and that is Long After We Are Gone by Tara Sheldon Harris. I saw this takes place in North Carolina and about a family like reclaiming their land before anybody else can take it, and I just was really intrigued by that. And alternating viewpoints. Long After We Are Gone is an explosive and emotional portrait of the power of family and letting go of things that no longer serve you, exploring the burden of familial expectations, the detriment of miscommunication, and the lessons and legacies we pass on to our children. The other memoir that I got in the Target sale is Brothers by Alex Van Halen. He's my favorite member of Van Halen. This is in this intimate and open account, nothing like any rock and roll memoir you've ever read. Alex Van Halen shares his personal story of family, friendship, music, and the American dream, and a remarkable tribute to his beloved brother and bandmate. And something with the end pages, so we have like Alex on the front of the book, and then on the back we have Eddie with their like school pictures, and I think that's so cool, and I've such a unique idea, so shout out to whoever came up with that. I did go to Goodwill this month as well, and I got all of these books for less than $13, when the one book I got at the indie bookstore is 25 bucks. At Goodwill, all of these, 3 hardbacks and 1 paperback for less than $13. We love that. That's what I was telling y'all. Getting books secondhand is amazing, but yes, you should still support small local businesses. We do have Small Business Saturday on this Saturday. Definitely go check out some local bookstores if you feel like it. The first book I got is The Fraud by Zadie Smith, and I was shook to see like this kind of hardback, and I totally just did not expect to see this at Goodwill. This is taking place in 1873. Miss Eliza Touchett is the Scottish housekeeper and cousin by marriage of a once famous novelist, now in his decline, William Ainsworth, with whom she has lived with for 30 years. Based on real historical events, The Fraud is a dazzling novel about truth, fiction, Jamaica and Britain, fraudulence and authenticity, and the mystery of other people. This one is another that I saw in like the best books of the century so far, and this is an author, I think one of her books is right up there. I have been wanting to get to a while because she blurbs a lot of books that I read, and that is Bel Canto by Anne Patchett, and it was the winner of the PEN/Faulkner Award. This is somewhere in South America at the home of the country's vice president. A lavish birthday party is being held in honor of the powerful businessman, Mr. Hoshikawa. Roxanne Koss, opera's most revered soprano, has mesmerized an international guest with her singing. It is a perfect evening until a band of gun-wielding terrorists take the entire party hostage. But what begins as a panicked, life-threatening scenario slowly evolves into something quite different, a moment of great beauty as terrorists and hostages forge unexpected bonds and people from different continents become compatriots. Friendship, compassion, and the chance for great love lead the characters to forget the real danger that has been set in motion and cannot be stopped. That kind of reminds me of Anxious People by Frederick Bachman, where you're in a hostage situation, but you really learn about all these characters. I hope that this is a great character-driven story. Next, this is one I picked up on a whim because I'm a Dodger fan, and I saw this Life magazine with Sandy Koufax on the cover from like 1963. I saw that at the Antique Mart, which I will be going back there soon, and if it's still there, I'll pick it up. But I regretted not buying it. I saw a book all about Sandy Koufax at Goodwill, so I picked it up. So this is Sandy Koufax, A Lefty's Legacy by Jane Levy. So it's just all about him, as he is one of the greatest pitchers of all time. And this book is another author that I haven't gotten to, but I really want to. And I saw it at another Goodwill location. That one was a paperback. Didn't pick it up because I didn't have enough to buy those books. I found it at Goodwill this month, and a hardback copy at that, Small Great Things by Jodi Picoult. And this one is annotated. Somebody annotated it, and I love that. I'm gonna love reading this person's annotations as I read this. Complete with flinching insights, richly layered characters, and a page-turning plot with a gripping moral dilemma at its heart. Its incredible empathy, intelligence, candor, Jodi Picoult tackles race, privilege, prejudice, injustice, and compassion, and doesn't offer easy answers. Small Great Things is a remarkable achievement from a writer at the top of her game. And again, I've heard great things about this book. Congratulations, you've made it to the last 2 books of the video. Again, another Target book, and that is Cher, the memoir part 1. Because Cher is another celebrity who has lived quite the life, and quite the long life. She's gonna put out multiple parts, and I love that, because Barbara Streisand's book is like 1,000 pages. I'm still gonna read it, but you know, a 1,000-page book, that's intimidating. And little shorter books, in multiple parts. Thank you, Cher. I wanted to tell you about, y'all know the part where it tells you about the author? Here it says, Cher is a global icon. I love that so much. So I cannot wait to pick up Cher's book. And lastly, another secondhand book that I got on eBay. This was originally a Book of the Month book from 1969. And Alexander the Great, he's one of my current hyperfixations, and I'm trying to just get everything about him. I want to read about him. Thank you to the movie Alexander from 2004. Picked up Fire from Heaven by Mary Renault because I just get recommended this book all of the time. Actually, I think a trilogy going just all into the life of Alexander the Great. How we're just talking about Cher, how she's like 70 something years old and it's time to have multiple books. Alexander, he lived to be pretty young, in his 20s or 30s when he passed, and as a 3-book trilogy, it doesn't matter how old you are, you can do so much in life. And I think that this is a poetic way to end this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it all the way through, happy Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is this week, so leave a Thanksgiving emoji in the comments below. And as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. And don't forget to ring that notification bell to be notified when all my videos go live. I'll see you in my next one. Bye! If you are familiar with my videos, you're used to seeing Sherman at the end of them. Sadly, Sherman has since passed away, but I would still like to encourage you guys to help your local shelters. Sherman was at the Darlington County Humane Society in rural South Carolina. I always have their link down below in the description if you guys would like to help them, but also help your local shelters as well. You can do that by donating, sharing posts like this one, volunteering, fostering, and adopting, which it's great to do all of those things. Great to help your community, great to help the animals in your community, and I cannot recommend it enough. All of my pets were rescues, they were strays or from animal shelters, and I love them so much, and I know how much love they can give, so knowing these pets at the shelter can equally give that much love, it's amazing. And y'all should totally take part and help out those local animal shelter pets, and please help them.